helped.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing a lot of progress, which is really fun.
So gratifying, isn't it?
It really is.
You know, I think it's like the time, right? We're almost in March. So like everybody, the holidays are really over. Like we're starting, like I just came home today and my daffodils are like, they're getting ready to pop up, and there's some color out there in the world reminding us that, you know, it's only temporary, this winter thing. It's just temporary.
We've been melting all of the snow.
Yeah.
So now everything is soggy and puddles and not terrific, but the plants need it, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Well, I mean, I live in soggy and puddles. Like
That's true.
That's how we roll here in Portland.
Yeah, we went through that last week. We got 250-degree days yesterday and today.
Wow.
So
That's like warm. I mean, you're taking off your coats and
Yeah.
gloves and hats and boots on, but hats and coat and boots, no gloves.
yeah.
Loving it because we've been like inside and it's been so hard for them.
I mean, I can't imagine. We just do not stay inside. Like even if takes us like 20 minutes to get outside and we're outside for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we go. It's but also it's only you know, like it gets in the low 40s, you know, high 30s is kind of the coldest that it gets here. So I think that's a different
We've had
thing.
20 below, and then when it gets 20 and below, we can't take them out.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So we're stuck inside.
Yeah. And how about you, Casey? What's happening weather-wise in Montana?
Well, in Livingston, where I'm at, we're right in the valley, so it's super, super windy all the time. We've got snow on the ground, but it's been a little bit warmer. It's been like high 20s. Last week was really, really wretched. We got dumped on like a bunch of snow, and I don't know, it's Montana for you. It snows and then it's 50 and then it snows again and then it's negative 20 and
Wow.
It's a mess. But this week has been, for me, it started off on a horrible note. Yesterday morning, my car died.
Oh,
So
no.
I had to deal with that, and then my phone is on the fritz. And then Ruby, she's right here, was diagnosed with influenza A, so she's out for the week. Yeah, so it's just been a really, really rough week, just kind of trying to gather my bearings. And I stayed home with her today, and my ex-husband is staying home with her tomorrow, so we're trying to alternate so we can both get in, to work. And she's the second confirmed case of flu this week, and it's just, it's really bad this year.
Yeah, I know. Well, and then hopefully you stay well. I mean, that's always.
What's that?
Hopefully you stay well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Well, yeah, you can't argue with the flu. I know I get the flu shot every year, and I just get it.
This is the 1 year I didn't, and I'm really kind of kicking myself in the butt for not doing it. But
I just do. My son was sick one year, a few years ago, and every year he's like, "When can we go get the flu shot?" He's like, "Let's go." As soon as the fall, he's like, "So can we get the flu shot yet?"
Well, that's good that he's got that attitude about it. I know for a lot of kids, it's pulling teeth trying to get them to get their shots.
Well, he's old. I mean, he's going to be 13 tomorrow. 13,
oh, wow.
My big boy. I know. So he was like 8, and he was very sick. I mean, when you get the flu, you get really sick, and so he's old enough to remember how uncomfortable he was, and he was sick for like 10 days. He ran a fever for 7 days. Yeah, he was really sick. So he also was the kid who was like, so that disease, the pox disease, when do I get that shot? Like, you know, he actually said something in the doctor's office, and I was one of those parents who's really apprehensive about vaccination right at the beginning of like he was born like right at that time where the article was published about, you know, that has since been debunked. But so, you know, we were scared. And his vaccination schedule was very slow. And now, of course, I'm like, you know, he's on the, you know, there's so much evidence that, that, you know, it's good science. So I don't, you know, I don't judge. But for us, it's something really that works. So, and I know the flu is terrible, and the vaccine isn't even that effective this year. That's why it's so bad.
Yeah.
So they didn't do a great job with figuring it out. Well, gosh, if it's gonna be just the four of us, I've actually wondered like what it would be like if the chats were just. I love having the big groups, but sometimes I feel like it's a lot of people and everybody needs you know, needs to be heard and has lots of I know you have things on your mind, and I think that we don't get even that much of a chance to even dig into the material sometimes. So anyway, just talking. Here comes Leslie and Chris, it looks like.
I'm struggling on the line with songs. I'm
Okay.
like old school, and I can't find the songs we did at residency.
Okay, so I have a PowerPoint that I actually share. I give this talk. I've, you know, like a couple times a year. It was my proposal for the conference actually in November in Florida, but it's called Sharing Music with the Youngest Child. And so the PowerPoint has all the words to the songs, and then I have just like quick and dirty kind of recordings so that you can hear the melody. So when we finish our chat, I will email you. Hi, Ranjini, or Dabika. I'm sorry. Hi. I'll email you the links to all that stuff, and maybe that will help. But when I see you in person, when I see all of you guys in person, then I'll teach you all the songs firsthand. But this will be, it's the best we can do right now.
That's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
They look at me when I sing the old school songs. They look at me like, what is she singing? Like,
well,
oh.
you know, when you talk about old school songs, do you know like the Ella Jenkins stuff? Like you know, like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Head and shoulders, knees, and toes.
Know that.
That's the real. We need to be singing more of that.
Some, I think it is. And then the people song, I know those. We learned a lot of songs in residency, but I can't for the life remember that.
The thing about songs is that you have to record them. Like, because, and then you have to listen to them kind of over and over again. That's how you learn songs, right? You learn them from listening to other people sing them over and over again in your classrooms. And then if you are just going to have like that, like a workshop or you know, that's where you have to go back over and over and listen to the songs and kind of teach them to yourself. So
Kathy, do you remember Baby Shark?
I love Baby Shark, but I don't remember it all. But I know how to do the motions. I just don't remember the words. I know all of the motions and blup, 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 but I don't remember all of the words.
Yeah, do you ever look on YouTube? You can look for Baby Shark on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That was the other thing. I didn't remember all of the names of the songs either, but I do look on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet Mercedes probably already has all these links, but I have just a document where I have copied all the links from the YouTube video.
Oh yeah,
and I don't show the video, but I listen to it. It just helps me remember the melody. So I can share that with you guys too.
Thank you.
That would be great.
Great. Yeah, singing. I think that you just gotta. That's the best. Like when I use that so often as a classroom management strategy. I know that, the circle, it's helpful. I think too, when, especially with toddlers, hey Laura, songs that incorporate movement or have like action for the children to participate, like that's, it's kind of like your Baby Shark, and slippery fish, splashing in the water, like things that they can participate in are, they don't just sit and sing with us. So
You can always make up your emotions too. I do that a lot.
What song, what's a good example of where a song that you've taken and made up the words to, or the motions, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I found something online. It was called it was Vroom Vroom Zoom Zoom.
Oh.
And it's to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And so, when it says near or far, I'll point to myself, and then, an arrow far away, or, take a rocket to the moon. I have a picture of a rocket, and then we point to the moon, and we just make stuff up all the time. And I'm fortunate we have an actual designated music teacher who comes to our class quite often to help out. And she just, she'll come in and the kids will just start asking for songs. And she's got a lot of stuff on her phone that she can just, look up and turn on, and we can sing with whatever's on her YouTube thing.
That's great. I know I'm not, I get to be the music person. I took the music together teacher training a few years ago, and it definitely like elevated my ability to come in and do exciting circle time, like and it changed the way that I look at music. It's very Montessori in the approach. So, if you ever have the opportunity to take that class, I really strongly recommend it. It's super, super helpful.
What was it called?
It's just the music together teacher training, and it's like they do these like intensives in different cities, different big cities, and it's over 3 days. And I had a coupon I talked to them at the AMS National Conference one year, and so I had a coupon, and the class itself was actually with the coupon quite reasonable for professional development, and it really, really enhanced my it's a language curriculum, really. And I don't know, sometimes I think that our first language is song. When you listen to like the earliest languages, like, the Bushmen of the Kalahari with the little clicks and the and they are so in tune with the bird songs and the bird calls. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I don't have any research really to back that up. But maybe there will be some. All right. Well, now we have some chatters. Some Devika. Is that you on the phone, Roshani?
It's me, Roshani. Yeah.
Roshani, Laura's here. Eugenya's here. Chris is here. Leslie's here.
Yes, Devika is here also.
Yep.
Good morning.
Here.
Good morning, everybody. But I can see the names, but I cannot see the faces. Now I can see Mercedes' face. Can you see me?
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, because my internet connection, I think, is very slow.
Oh.
I don't know what happened today. Maybe the busy time of the day. And I cannot see anybody's face, though.
Oh.
Can everybody see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But I cannot see you guys.
Well, maybe when
only I can see Mercedes.
Only me. Are you sure that that you're on, like, you can have different selections for the kind of view that you get, and if you have your preference selected on speaker view, then you'll only see the person who's talking. You have to go to
No, I didn't do that. I did it exactly the way every time I do it.
All right. Well, sorry, you just get to see my face.
Something is wrong with my internet connection.
Wow.
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay.
But I can hear you and I see the name. So, who is on the phone actually?
It's me.
Say that again.
Roshani.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Deepika, are you back?
No, I'm still in India.
How is your uncle?
He's doing okay. I can't say he's bad, but he's not good either. So he's still hanging in there. And I'm trying to get my flight. This week we couldn't get it, so maybe middle of March I'll get it. And it will take 2 days for me to reach there. So by 15th I should be there.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm glad that everything is going better though.
Yeah, it's much better. Yes. And I have to go back now, so I'm getting ready to go back.
It's always hard, huh? Coming back.
Yeah, it is very hard to stay away from home.
It's always. I know.
Yeah.
Are you going to Denver, Dabika?
Yes,
Okay.
I will be.
Okay.
That's why I have to be back by
Right.
15th.
That's right. Okay. And someone, Anne, is also going to Denver.
Anne is going, yes.
Yeah. Are any of you, does anybody get to go? Casey, great. Okay. Yeah. All right. So next year when you negotiate your contract, put in a major conference as part of your contract. For your employer to
Yes.
to the conference of your choice, basically. That's my advice. So it's a pretty incredible. Well, you know, those of you who went to residency, how powerful it was to be with a group of people who all are thinking pretty much like we're all working towards world peace. You know, it's pretty incredible to go to a conference and be in that kind of environment.
Right.
I wish I could just take you guys all with me. So.
Yeah, so maybe one evening we'll meet together over there, over Denver.
I think that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, where should we start? I'm feeling better.
The assignment.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. The last week's assignment. I'm confused. I don't know if I'm not getting it. It seems so easy, but I'm just confused about it.
Tell me what assignment are we referencing?
The diaper outlining, how like from the timeline of diapering.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I saw quite a few of you returned the timeline. Somebody who wants to take the lead on this?
I'm not sure if I did it correctly. Did I?
They looked correct to me. I mean,
I cut mine up. I just cut it up, and then I put it back together in order.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same paper. Both papers are the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think they're essentially the same. Yeah,
so you just have to cut it and then just manually put them together. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it was just more a hands-on approach to understanding that sequence.
Yeah, just a way to really get you to read it.
Yeah, and
okay, now it makes sense. Okay.
And I think everybody's, you can look at the other people posted their replies right to the.
I don't think you can look at it until
unless you've done yours.
Okay.
For this.
So what resources did you tap to get the timeline put together? Like, did you look online, or how did you go about putting the timeline together?
Well, it had the dates on it.
It's already on there.
So ultimately,
so you just looked at the dates and put it in order. So,
but
okay.
I mean, it said that you could use the timeline itself, like the online version, as the original, like the hard copy that you could look at to make sure you had your dates right. I think it was more just like a fun thing to do. There was no like really wrong way to do it, probably.
Okay, that's probably why I didn't get it, because I was thinking, why is it so easy? What am I missing here? So I thought that probably because it was just too easy, I figured that I got it wrong,
Yeah, now that Laura mentions it, it does have the dates on it, and I remember looking at everybody's thing who posted it and was like, I don't, and I guess I kind of was like, I don't know what really the work here is, except when you're cutting everything out and moving things around, you're processing.
You're thinking about it.
Another way to look at it. But
Okay.
What I thought was interesting though is that well, I have a lot of thoughts on toileting. I have to just be honest. I mean, we could talk for the next 6 hours about what I think, and that's probably not even that important. But one of the things that occurred to me when I was looking at the timeline is that it starts kind of late. And it also is a very ethnocentric view of teaching the toilet. And so it's a very American perspective. And when we look at a worldwide perspective, statistically, most children in the world are independent in the toilet by about 18 months. So, usually between, and so when, who was it? It was you, Rashani, who posted about your pediatrician suggested that you not even try.
Exactly.
And so that's a very, now we have a group of pediatricians who do not remember what it was like before the plastic diapers were invented. And so now there is this later toilet training that's happening in our country and in countries with more of a dependence on plastic diapers that have pushed the age out and now we're thinking that 4 years old is that's developmentally appropriate.
That is so true. So my thing is I was I was personally in underwear at the age of 14 months, and that's how it is. And then, but here it's your first baby. Everything seems so emotional. Everything seems like you don't know anything what you're doing. So I was talking to my pediatrician, and she was like, "Oh no, you shouldn't do that. You're just really helping my daughter. You're expecting too much from my daughter. If I start doing that, I'm expecting too much from my daughter. It's gonna really set her back, and not to do this." And then I came home. I did what I had to do anyway. I didn't want to listen to her. But then I had all these parents who was going along with all what these doctors are saying to you anyway. It's really hard.
I know. Well, I'm always interested to be. Well, go ahead. Sorry, I was going to ask Dabika to talk about a little bit about how, the difference, if there is a difference in approach, where you're from in
India.
Yeah.
India, when my son was baby, we used a cloth diaper. We never used the plastic one. And so I don't remember what happened with me, but in generations, I have seen that we never used diapers with plastic stuff. But now I think they are starting it. A lot of young generation, they're buying diapers and using it. And the toilet training is getting, lesser at the proper time. So time is lagging that up to 2 years, no toilet training. But earlier they were using the cloth and it was very early and it was natural. Now the video is coming. I can see Chris and I can see Laura. I don't know. Something is working good.
We'll get there.
Yeah. I can only see
mine was
people.
messed up too. I had to restart it a couple of times. So.
Yeah, but it's not. Mine is all set up. Everything is fine. I think it's something with the internet connection, and it's coming very slow, very slow. So Mercedes is fixed right now. I can see these things are going on. But anyway, toilet training was very natural in my place. And we used different toilet for the little ones like we use in USA, the smaller one. Sometimes it's on the table, chair also, the chair toilet. So, and it has a gradual process. So The kids are feeling, the child is feeling the wet and, you know, the messy stuff, and right away they want them to be changed. So it's very natural, and I prefer that very much. When I will have my grandchildren, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Eugenia, is there a difference in approach in Costa Rica to teaching the toilet or toilet awareness or diapering?
No, it's basically the same. The thing is that with clothes, diapers, there's not too much. It's not like, it's really expensive. So it's not an option for all the families. So basically most of the families, like in my preschool, most of the families use regular diapers, and just some of the families use clothed ones. So even though it's the best option, you can find there like only 2 stores in the whole country. So it's not a choice for all the families.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's, I think, has anybody seen the movie Babies? It's called Babies. It came out, I want to say maybe in like 2011, 2010, and it follows like babies basically born in 4 different parts of the world. There's a baby from Namibia, a baby from someplace in Mongolia, a baby from Tokyo, and a baby from San Francisco. And it follows the families from birth through really walking. And I watched the movie in the theater, and the first 10 minutes, the baby in Namibia is born, and it's very dimly lit, and the mom is holding the baby, and it's this kind of beautiful moment, and something happens, and she shifts, and then she takes her knee, and you're not really sure what she's doing, and then it becomes apparent that her child has eliminated, and that she's using her leg to wipe the BM from her brand new baby's bottom, and the whole theater just gasps. Like you can hear everybody go, oh, like that. And but one of the things that was so powerful about this movie was as I'm watching it, so the children in the little boy from Mongolia and the girl from Namibia, like they were independent. You could tell that they were independent in the toilet, like right around the time when they started walking, and both of them started walking earlier than the children in Tokyo and San Francisco. But one of the things that really made me think is that there's no, like, water is a really big issue in a lot of places in the world, and it's something that I don't think about. And so seeing the way that this culture, this people had to address the issue of water and how water is used, and like it made me think about how much water we use with cloth diapering, and but that they don't wash clothes. They're like, it's very, it's just a completely different approach. And so first of all, I recommend the movie, and second of all, it really made me think about the way that the world approaches like elimination. And so anyway. So I have something that I thought I would show you, if it's crazy. I haven't ever done a screen share, but I wanted to show you a video of me changing an infant, and like because it's crazy. So if I do this, can you see what I'm showing? Can you see this? The All Roads Learning Community. Okay. So I'm just going to show you, look, see, it's 32 minutes of me doing changes, but
I can't see it. Something is wrong with the video.
Can you see the video?
I can see it.
No, I can't. I can't see it.
Dabika, I think it's your connection.
Yeah, I think something is wrong. But that's okay. You're going to put it on the forum or something? Are you going to post it?
Yes, I can. I can
post it, and then I'll see it. I can't see anything. I can see Rashani, Casey, Eugene.
Oh, Rashani, I know you can't see. I'm sorry. So I will put the video up.
How old is the
I'm
baby?
just going to show you a couple minutes of it. But it's me changing an infant in my lap, essentially. And I know.
How old is she?
She is 8 months old.
Oh, wow.
See it.
I don't think it's because I'm not an orthopedic person and I don't read x-rays. I don't think it's the left foot is in a very, very odd position. And mom can't do that. She can't do that. Mom's knee hurts. Now, if you fracture your hip, you're going to put your foot out.
Okay, I'm going to stop it here because I showed you probably what I feel like I should show you or enough. Sorry, let me. I'm not sure how to get out of the screen share now. Oh, there. Stop share. Okay. Hey. All right. Learning every day. Is that crazy? Was that crazy? Yeah, crazy, right? I mean, it's totally crazy.
Amazing.
So I changed that baby in my lap, and I will be honest, like that's how I mean, I have the table, and I know that in the training, it's the the table, and the table's important, and like the eye contact is important, but I always show you this because I always show people because it's it allows us to offer the toilet to the infants, and so with parents' permission, and with the infant's permission, I put her on the toilet, and she was like, "Great, I'm on the toilet." I did it with my son, and he pooped in the toilet at like 2 weeks old. So so we had it's called elimination communication. Do you know what that is? Has anyone heard of that?
I've kind of heard about it, but I don't know anything about it.
Well, it's I mean, a lot of countries in the world practice it. The Northern European countries is really common, in Asia. So basically, it just is about like reading your child's cues. And so we practiced elimination communication when I had my little tiny community in my home, and we had infants and toddlers together. Now that our infants are in their own classroom, there's not a toilet in that room, so we can't do it. And it's a huge sacrifice, I think, because my son was pooping in the toilet pretty much exclusively before he was a year old. And I don't feel like I pushed him. Like, I just knew I knew when he had to poop, and I would take him. And there were many infants where I would look at them and think, oh, I need to take them to the bathroom, and I would take them to the bathroom, and they would eliminate. So, and I think the lap change is a little different than a face-to-face change, but it is very consistent with a Montessori. Once we get to, like when we're giving lessons, the way that I was taught is to do what's called a body molding approach. So sometimes when you come behind a child and you crouch down behind them and then you reach your arms around, they get a much better perspective, especially like with the dressing frames. It's really hard to see like what your fingers are doing and what your hands are doing. But if you come around from behind, it's very clear what you're doing. And then there is also a, like the thought is that we're still in this fluid like attachment phase, you know, where we see the child's perspective is very much like we're one person. So when I'm have my arms wrapped around, the perspective is shit, you know, these are my hands doing the work. This is my like that's the perception. So Casey, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, do you have any children that are still using disposable diapers? And if not, what is your policy and how do you approach that with parents?
Well, I can't control what they do at home. So
I mean, in your environment.
No, we just don't use them. So, and we never have. And so, you know, it's, I think, it doesn't discourage people from enrolling. I think sometimes, you know, I've seen parents like put like a plastic diaper on their child in the trunk of their car before they even get in it to go home. And, you know, and I feel a little sad for their children, but I mean, I can't control what they do at home. I just try to do a lot of front loading, a lot of education, a lot of support. But I want to live in a world, first of all, where plastic diapers don't exist. So I prefer to be in denial in my own little community. And then I also want to be true. Like, I feel like you're not going to hear me say things a lot like that's not Montessori or, you know, you're not doing Montessori right. I really like,
Do
sorry,
you
go ahead.
provide the diapers then?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. So we have all of the cloth diapers, the pre-folds, and we use a service. I send all the poop diapers out, and then I have the parents go out and they buy a quantity of the diaper wrap. So there's two parts to the cloth diapering system. As many of you know, there's the wrap, which is it's super easy to do now. It's really not any easier. And I think that's what convinces parents is that it really isn't much easier than a or any harder than a plastic diaper. And they, you know, so they're like, I think again, we've lost this cultural transmission of knowledge. You know, they're like, it just is the unknown, the fear of the unknown. So we ask the parents to bring in 7 to 10 diaper wraps, and those diaper wraps are just our wraps at school. And so we cycle through them, and it's not, people don't have their own diapers. It's just, we have a pile of sanitized diapers and a pile of sanitized wraps. And then we have a little stack of cloth underpants. And so when the children decide that they're ready to wear underpants, then they wear underpants. Then they pick the underpants up instead of a diaper and they put them on.
So I'm trying to figure out how to pay for the service. Is that a fee that you incorporate into your tuition?
Yeah.
Like we have for our early learners, if they're not potty, and I'm not quite positive, but I know that they get charged a fee for not being potty trained. Not really sure why. Well, we provide cloth underwear, like Gerber underwear, and if they, like, I have a little boy now that he, I don't know. I talked to his parents and they were excited about starting potty training, and so he is in cloth Gerber underwear the whole time at school, but he comes in a pull-up and they put a pull-up on him before he leaves and goes home. But so I keep those, and if I send them home for them to wash them, they'll never come back. So I wash them at school. We have a washer and dryer, so
yeah,
I'm thinking that's why that they charge that, but I'm wondering if that is feasible to charge them.
Yeah, for the service.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know,
because I think it's a great idea. I'd love it. And however, I'm not sure my boss would like to pay for a diaper service.
Well, typically it's like significantly less expensive to cloth diaper a child than it is to provide, you know, to buy the throwaway, the plastic diapers.
Yes.
So,
and I wonder if
That's true.
if a local diaper service would be interested in giving you somewhat of a special rate if you're a school and you're providing it to parents. I mean, where I live, it's like super granola, super crunchy people. I did cloth diapers, but so I would think that if we asked, that the company would be psyched to have a school to be able to, you know, talk about, well, we do this school's diaper service. And I just think, I don't know, that it might be.
I have a mom who owns a store, and I don't know. She has a website and stuff, but it's called Nature Baby, and it's like a cloth diaper, all natural, baby toys, and it's got a lot of like the Montessori toys in it, actually, and it's pretty awesome. But she carries the wet dry bags. She carries all of the wraps. She carries all the different diapers, the different sizes. But I'm just wondering, I'm not excited about doing the laundry. That's my
well, yeah, the poops are a little more complicated, and we washed them in-house when I was in my home. I had a commode shower, so it's just like a little sprayer that attached to my toilet, and like everybody would take a turn with the poop bucket, and we'd just light some incense. I had like a plastic mask that we would wear, and like a vinyl apron and big thick gloves, and because you have to rinse everything out before you put it in the washing machine.
Yeah.
And your licensing, and I don't know, see, our licensing department now, you can't do that anymore. Like I would have to have a separate room, and that's fine. It's a little more complicated now that I'm in the center than it was.
Actually, that's true. I don't know if you can. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
And I would imagine, because we do it all for the parents, and I think that maybe that buy-in would be a little more challenging if I was sending home a bag full of wet and poopies every day. I don't know. I mean, I think at this point, people, you know, who knows? But
well, and you would be expecting all those parents to buy cloth diaper soap and to wash them appropriately, and that's kind of, I don't know, that's asking a lot, I guess. Unless they already do cloth.
Well, I mean, you know, the other side of it too is that it is better for their child. It's better for the environment. It's less expensive. I mean, there's a lot of really great, you know, benefit from, and you're out of diapers. Like that's the big benefit, I think, is the freedom from diapers. I mean, you know, children are really, you know, and when you look at it that way, like that, it's a freedom, and that something you don't have to really worry about. And I think it's interesting that doctors will say things like, oh, they're not ready until they're 3. Well, you know, elimination is about the sensitive. It's an order, you know, sensitivity to order. So the order is, where does my elimination go? And children are in a sensitive period for order starting at birth. And children, you know, like I don't expect babies to, you know, that's one of the first senses of order, the order around elimination that gets developed, I think. And then we're waiting until a child, their sense of order is developed around, well, now my toilet is my pants. And so you're like, that's a really, once a child has developed their sense of order around my toilet is my pants, then we run into you know, there, it becomes really difficult. And oftentimes that sensitivity, the window opens up when we're even, you know, you're looking at this 12-month-old child and they're like splashing in the toilet water. And to me, that's like a sign of, I'm interested, like, show me what to do with this. What are we doing with the toilet now? Let me show you how to use the toilet. So,
see, that's where I'm kind of stuck too, because I have some pretty exciting news. We are going to accept younger kids, and we do have a space that we are going to work with. So I'm just in the very beginning stages of planning that. But I think right now my kids have to be 2 to start, and so I've already missed the boat, because now I have a boy who's 3, and he doesn't want to use the toilet, and he like cries if you don't put a diaper on him. But he's in plastic diapers. I mean, so I think he's already beyond, he like missed it, so it's so hard to catch up. And mom's like, I just don't want to make him, he's really shy for one, and he's really come out of his shell a lot at school, but she doesn't want to force him to wear underwear, which I don't want to force him to wear underwear either. And she's, so it's like, what do you do? He's going to
switch to
4
cloth.
Yeah, no, that would be great. But at that point, I mean, like, because who knows a child who asked for the diaper to poop into, right? It's like we all. So, and that when you take you're at a point where you can't. If you take that diaper away, then now we're in a power struggle, and guess who's going to win?
Yeah.
And rightly so, you know, like, and, you know, and so when I used to be I used to say, no, you know, put them in underpants no matter what, don't give them the diaper. But I've evolved my position, and I have to say that at that point the will is involved, and they know. And
I think she was hoping that I would potty train, like I would start it and then it would carry over to the house. But I'm like, I'm not going to be the meanie and say, no, you can't wear diapers. I'm like, God,
maybe
I want him to like school.
Yeah. And maybe he would be willing to put on this is where I would start. Maybe he would be willing to put on underpants over the diaper. Well, hey, you know, let's just put on these underpants over the diaper. Like, let's just, you know, let's start.
Yeah. And once you bring out the underwear, though, he's like, he doesn't even want to even look, see, touch the underwear. So, but I'll try that and see if he wants to.
And the other thing that I suggest too is to have the parents take the child out to buy their own underpants, and they can buy whatever underpants they want. You know what? I don't care. You want to bring some crazy superhero, whatever I don't care. Lightsabers, it doesn't matter. Like and that's one place where I do soften my position, because I want that child to be excited about, you know, princess underpants, whatever. I don't care.
Yes, that's true.
So that's kind of one of the other strategies that I've, but if she would switch to cloth, that would be a great,
well, and she's got a daughter who's right now at the age to start potty training. I think she's 1.5 years. So I'm like, and she'll be in my class too. I'm like, wait, we should do both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Because
he rarely poops at school, but he, sorry.
I was just saying, toileting is not supported at a lot of centers.
Yeah.
First, they want you to start at 2.5, and you have to be potty trained. Or if they're taking you before, they don't want to be responsible for doing the potty training if they don't feel the child is ready. So they'll put the onus back on the parent. So you kind of like at
the children are born ready. They're born ready. It's the parents who need to be ready, and that's kind of why I just insist on. Well, I don't insist, but I take the lead at school, because I'm willing to do that. Like, I think it works best, as you said, Kathy, when everybody's working together. But there's once we make some progress at school, then the parents see, you know, a little bit of that progress at home, and it's encouraging for them. And so, you know, I think, and then, so that's, go ahead, Leslie.
I would add too, for that child where it's become sort of an issue of will. I've had success in the past of with a willing parent to talk to them about sort of having a naked weekend where the child has
Yeah.
no diaper, no underwear, just naked with a shirt or a skirt. And they, watch lots of movies and stay, they plan to stay in and maybe only in the kitchen. Like they're just kind of in a smaller area and where there's just a potty right there. And that way you're not having a battle over the diaper. And, spending time, maybe you're in the kitchen making cookies and, doing really fun things. And if there's an accident, it's easy to clean up and things like that. So that has to be a willing parent, though. I know.
I agree. Having nothing on is like the easiest. I can't even. If you ever came to my house, like, you don't want to sit on anything. My son is peeing on everything there. I'm like, you just peed on the coffee table? Ew, you peed on the coffee table? Oh, yeah. I disinfect, but still. Yeah. But it's just, I find he's been wearing underwear for months now, but if he's wearing nothing, he's much less likely to have an accident, and I'll see him sooner, like holding on to himself. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, you need to go potty. Let's go do that, But yeah, I think that works well. And I've had several parents have success with that. So
yeah, I think
they're willing.
That's a good strategy. I mean, I used to think, I do think the cloth diapers are important. But there's like when you have a child and they're in underpants and they eliminate and like the pee goes all over the floor and all over them and they're like looking down at what's going on. Like that's a real, there's some connections being made.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he rarely poops at school, but he pooped in his diaper the other day and he was like, man, he was in the bathroom pulling everything off and he wanted it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, the awareness is there, and that's so hard. It's so hard. How do you help that child where, you can't really reason with them, but at the same time, you're like, they're struggling. And there's certainly I think that like a personality type to, like where it becomes, we've had children who just don't eliminate at school at all. Like I've had little children who come in the morning and they're like, nope. And then they go home, thank goodness, at the half day, but they hold it all morning. They'll sit on the toilet for a second and then pop off. But we do not, I don't force the toilet. I don't, if you want to sit on the toilet, you can sit on the toilet. If not, that's totally fine. I am a little not traditional in the respect that I think it's okay to like read books on the toilet. Like the woman who trained me said no to all of that. And I'm like, well, you need like something to entice them to stay. You can sing a song or whatever, but
I have a special bag of little dinosaurs. I know they're not Montessori, little dinosaurs and trees, and they're just plastic stuff that you can be wiped off. And then I do have books in there too. So, but they only get the bag of toys when they're in the bathroom.
Yeah.
They have to stay there.
Well, I think even Catherine, the one speaker, she's got great stuff to say. I can't stand listening to her though. But anyways, that's beside the point.
She seems so proper.
She's too formal. It makes me crazy. I'm like, no, not another Catherine video. I'm just like, just close your eyes and listen to what she's saying. Don't look at her face. Anyways, but
I love you.
Even she talks about how you have to be creative and like, let's hop to the bathroom like a bunny. You want to crawl like a whatever. Okay, let's just get there, and without the power struggle. So I think within reason, however you can get them there, getting there is the key point.
Yeah, he goes into the bathroom. It's just like, and he takes his pants off and he takes his own diaper off and he stands up and pulls the diaper through, and then I just have to hook it. And so he does the whole process and everything, but he will not sit on the toilet and he will not put on underwear.
I mean, have you tried?
And that's like one of the videos last week said that like that's one of the only things that they can control is toileting. And
I wonder if you talked to his mom about like what kinds of decisions he is making for himself at home. Because I've found that sometimes when children feel like they don't have any decisions that they make on their own, like even what they're going to wear.
Yeah, she
They won't
actually
fix
says that he won't let her pick out the clothes. Like if he picks out the clothes, he will refuse to put it on. So he picks out his own clothes, and he maybe it's too far, because then she's like, then he wanted scrambled eggs for breakfast, so I made him scrambled eggs, and then he didn't want scrambled eggs, he wanted Cheerios, or he wanted, and then
this sounds like my 5-year-old.
And he actually is turning 3 this week. So yeah.
Maybe if you since he refuses to wear underwear, would he just wear his pants with nothing underneath? Or would he freak out? I mean, you could.
I really think the naked weekend would really work for him, because if he just didn't wear anything and saw that, oh, my pee is all over, then I think that's.
I mean, once he wears underwear, he's totally going to realize that this is way more comfortable than a diaper.
Yeah. And he loves water work, but he hates when his shirts are wet. If he gets any wetness on his shirt, then he's changing his shirt. So he definitely has the awareness, but so I don't know. I'll suggest some naked weekend maybe, and see if he'll wear the underwear over the top of his diaper.
Yep. Sometimes I think that children, I mean, because this personality type, like we all know him, right? We all know this.
But he's so sweet, and he's he's so
But I think sometimes that this is like, so is this a situation where psychosomatic unity was not achieved? We go back to our book, Understanding the Human Being, right? And like, the mind-body connection. And like, I wonder sometimes is it that we missed the sensitive period for order? Is it that we, that psychosomatic unity wasn't achieved? And if these are issues, how can we go back and really kind of reintegrate? And I'm not saying that I have like great answers, but those are maybe a couple questions. And then the other thing that I think about is typically children who with a very high need for control are, and as Laura said, sometimes if they're being deprived of control in other areas of their lives, that might be another possibility. But when you have a child with a very high need for control, they might feel like their body is almost like the enemy. Like, and I think that especially with like PMs, that it is scary maybe to a child to feel like the pressure of that you have to like kind of push, that there's this like, it's kind of like vomiting, like where your body is taking over control of a natural function.
That's awesome. I've never thought of that, but I hate vomiting. I hate it.
Well, nobody wants to vomit.
I so could understand, but like I don't know.
But you can't control it. I remember I went into labor, and my midwife was like, like it was happening really fast, and she's like, "Can you hold on?" And I was like, "It's like telling me to stop throwing up." Like, no, like, I'm not in control of this, lady. Like, what is happening? So get your game face on, because this baby is coming out, and I don't want to see your scared face. I want to see we're doing this face. But it's like, it's new. Like the child is learning the muscles, and if they're at all constipated, then there's maybe going to be some pain and some cramping, and and when your body says it's time to poop, it's time to poop. And so maybe there's like an internal struggle, and to me that's psychosomatic unity. And so what can we do to back up and support the mind-body union and support a child in really understanding, integrating their understanding of their bodily functions? And that's a case-by-case basis. But I've known this kid for 15 years, and I have so much more compassion for them right now than I did as a new teacher, because it must be really, and maybe that language is scary. Are you afraid to wear the underpants? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's scary about them. Are you afraid of the toilet? Let's take the back off the toilet. Let me show you how it flushes. Like, that kind of stuff.
I like the idea of, and it must have been in one of the videos where she talks about sitting on the toilet backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Giving him that option of sitting on the frontwards or backwards.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, yeah, that's great. Of course, I have a potty chair in my bathroom and a toilet. So they get to sit on the frog toilet or the white toilet. And it's really funny because one of the littlest girls, she just turned 2, and she is toileting, and she picks to sit on the white toilet. She doesn't want to sit on that frog toilet. And it's an adult toilet, so it's so cute to see. I mean, she's just tiny anyways. But then I have my oldest that is 3, he's over 3, and he will not sit on the white toilet. He wants to sit on the frog toilet. And he actually peed his pants the other day because somebody was sitting on the frog toilet pooping, and I was like, I can't tell him to get off. I mean, what do I do? So yeah, but anyway. All right. Well, thank you. I'll try some of those ideas.
Good. Well, gosh, this time flew by. We're right up almost to the end of our chat. What's pressing? I didn't hear a lot. Eugenia, we didn't hear a lot from you, or Rashani, Wendy. What's happening, girl?
Oh, you're on mute, Eugenia.
Okay, there you go. I have this girl. She's now in. She's not in toddler's class anymore. She's more than 3. But I think I wrote it in. Yeah, I think I wrote it in one of the answers from last week. But there's no way she stops using diapers, and we're having a lot of trouble with her because she goes back and forth in the weekends with diapers, and then on Monday no diapers.
I'm standing there.
And there's there's no way that we are gonna make it because her mom puts diapers on her every weekend. And the thing is that she has she doesn't feel uncomfortable when she's wet or soiled. I don't know what's going on, but she just doesn't care. She's fine with it. And we hurry to the bathroom, and then it's all over again. And we change her 5-6 times during the morning, and then the same day again. She's 3 and 4 months old right now. So any advice will be well received because we are out of options. We don't know what else to do. And with no support at home, it makes it more difficult.
I wonder if maybe she's just thinking, hey, I'm just going to get through the day. When I go home, my mom's going to put a diaper on me. So who cares? I think getting the parent on board is huge because going back and forth is too confusing. I mean, and by the time I think even by the time they're 2, and definitely by 3, they've realized that you are so efficient at changing diapers that why should they bother to try to use the toilet when someone else is just going to take care of it for them.
Yeah.
So, I'll just let it go and someone will help me change, or someone will change my diaper, If she's over 3, I would say make her responsible for 99% of cleaning herself up. Stand there and watch, but I wouldn't do much at all. Even if it means there's poop on your changing pad, you can clean that up. But in our primary classroom, as soon as children move up, which they're 3, if they have an accident, they are responsible for changing themselves. The teacher does not do it for them. And they learn really quickly that sucks. When there is poop all over you, that's way harder than if you just went and used the toilet and wiped yourself like that. So I think that's a quick way for her to realize, oh, this is not convenient.
Have you felt, because we've done that, but with children that feel they feel uncomfortable and they don't like it, but she just doesn't care. So I don't know. I wonder if why is it that she just is not uncomfortable and she doesn't mind being wet or soiled?
So she's here to clean it up, or it'd be just the same for her.
I'm gonna say something crazy again, and you can totally disagree with me, but at this point, something that I sometimes all of the things that Laura said, yes, that she needs to be responsible, parents need to be on board, but I might consider talking to her family about setting up a reinforcer, like a rewards, and the reason that I say it's very contradictory to our Montessori philosophy, but I know it is. I know I'm crazy for saying this, but also they're shown to.
I don't think you're crazy.
Thank you because of your background.
Right.
And, I knew. Thank you. I'm glad. So that's why, because research shows that in children who need, that children who haven't developed intrinsic motivation, especially in older children, that that a reinforcer can help bridge the gap. And that I wouldn't, so that's Mercedes Castle talking. I don't represent, I know CGMS, that's not our position, but I'm just gonna put that right there for you.
Well, I can add to that, Mercedes, that I think, and you were saying it, Eugenia, that the natural consequence of feeling uncomfortable it is usually sufficient for a lot of children, that they to motivate them to eliminate on the toilet, because they engage in the behavior of going to the toilet, using the toilet there, so that they can avoid that uncomfortable feeling. But for some children, they are just neurologically wired a different way, and they're not sensing that in the same way. Like they might be hypersensitive or hyposensitive, and anyways, it just changes how they respond to that feeling of being wet or soiled. And if they are not experiencing a negative consequence, just that natural consequence, they may need some additional reinforcement to motivate them to use the toilet. So I think that hopefully that's in agreement with what you're saying, Mercedes. Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, I would try all the things that Laura, those are all great ideas. But the fact that she doesn't have that awareness, that's not, that should be the motivation. It tells me that there's something else happening potentially with this child. And that's kind of the other thing is, let's find out if there is something else happening with her.
Yeah, well, she was doing fine this year, but then a little baby girl was on her way, a little sister, so her mom decided to go back and stop diapers, and that happened. So she was back in diapers when her baby sister was born. So, and then she went back with no diapers, and what happened? And they went on a trip to South America, so she didn't want to have accidents on the airplane. So whole vacation and diapers again, and it's been back and forth for almost a year. So the sensitive period passed.
And now she's like, why bother? And maybe she's even like, gosh, do you think it's possible that she's just like detached, like that she's dissociated a little bit from her body because she's been at the whim of, whatever. It's not our job to diagnose or whatever. But that's a hard one.
Stinking parents.
I'm gonna try all the things. I'm gonna let you know what happens next week.
No, that's great. I know it's so terrible. I said something really horrible the other day that here, let me stop the recording because we're after.